for another edition of
Lockdown Sports.
And we are still locked down, except we are enjoying ourselves. The view from our respective houses is a sweet view indeed, Jeff Young. As you know, the air cleared Sunday night from all of that smoke, just in time to, let's just say, clear the air as far as who the leader is in the NFL's MVP race so far. And that would be MVP3 as the new t-shirts that just came online are talking about. MV3, and that would be our own Russell Wilson, who was just out of his mind on Sunday night. And I thought it was interesting, by the way. I think the subdued way that the Mad Hatter, Black Dick Tracy, Cam Newton, who had on the bright yellow suit after the victory last week, was extremely dressed down as if he was attending a wake after that game. And oddly enough, I did not see that same smile on Bill Belichick's face that we always saw during the game on those Subway commercials with the new and improved and skinning and grinning Bill Belichick. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, hell yeah. And I think Cam was, I don't know if he was wearing a dark purple with black accents or whether those were just the bruises from the beating he took from the Addams family.
Yeah, man. You know what? There was a lot of very interesting things that happened. And let's back up and we can talk about the game. There's plenty to unpack about the game, as you know.
Right.
So let's just go to the clipboard and let's let everybody who looks at Lockdown Sports see exactly, in case you missed, why number 3 is our guest right now, our choice.
There's no question about it.
MVP.
Cam and the Patriots come to the Clink on a Sunday night, cleared out, and Russell was just phenomenal. You know, he threw 5 touchdown passes to 5 different receivers, actually 4 of our wide receivers and our running back, Chris Carson. And the crazy stat that I couldn't believe was that New England defensive secondary only allowed 4 touchdown passes all of last season to wide receivers. And Russell took them down in one game, right? Unbelievable.
Special night for
and
number
look at
3.
these, and nobody throws a prettier pass than this guy, man. I mean, you know, look at this bullet slant to Tyler in the back of the end zone. And everybody got involved. The rookie Freddie Swain on a beautiful crossing route, wide open for a touchdown.
Sweet play, man. I just couldn't believe how that whole lane opened up for him.
Oh, I know.
And this is a kid who was, what, a 5th-round draft choice?
Oh, yeah. And we wondered why we didn't hear much about him, but now we know why he's on the team. And here's the thing I really want to highlight. You know, Russ took some hits. He took a hit right as he released that beautiful rainbow to Chris Carson for another touchdown. But the one pass play to who I have to say is solidifying his number 3 position, no matter if what's his name comes back from that sore.
Josh Gordon.
Yeah, well, Flash and the expatriate
Dorsett.
Yeah, with the David Moore, man, has got it all going on. And this pass play that Russ completed to him for the touchdown was phenomenal because, once again, Russell defies all the odds. This had a probability of success at 6.3%. And how David Moore got his foot over that pylon and then back in to toe tap in for a touchdown was amazing. Russell right now has 2 of the most improbable receptions since they started measuring this metric. And of course, we see the side-by-side with that toe tap Tyler Lockett did last year. I think that was like a 6.7% probability.
Yeah,
but the man is just out and out amazing. Russell Wilson is, he's all world.
He's balling, man. He is absolutely balling. There's no question. Absolutely balling. And what I love is that he's spreading all of the riches, okay?
Oh, yeah.
They're allowing him to cook, and he's spreading the riches. But let's back up and go back to the Addams family and a number of things that transpired in that last play. And everything that led up to that last play, which I found to be, at times, absolutely heart palpitating. Was it not?
It was. It definitely was. And for people who maybe haven't seen the previous Lockdown Sports, the Addams family is the great nickname Rod has come up with for the new look Seattle defense, led by Jamal Adams. who once again had a big game. 10 tackles, sack, some big pressure plays.
Yeah, that sack on Cam Newton was big, okay? That saved the touchdown. They had to go for 3. They got their 3 points.
Yep.
But everything that mattered, that came down to, once again, one last play against the New England I wanted to call them the Deflatriots, but I'll call them the Patriots. They don't deflate balls anymore. But by the way, man, I'm listening to all kinds of sports pundits nationally talking about how much better the New England Patriots are with Cam Newton behind center. And yeah, he took a beating, but let's face it, healthy, he is very, very impressive.
He looks back in form. You know, I was telling him, he looks like he's finally healed from that beating the Broncos gave him in Super Bowl 50. Do you know, talking about that last play, and we've got it up here right now and watching it, it's just truly a remarkable effort because earlier in the game, they ran that exact same play for a touchdown.
They did it twice.
And I believe Bobby Wagner was the one who called the shift and knew they were going to run that play again. Do you realize that Cam Newton has lined up on the 1-yard line 19 times in his career and has never lost a yard until Sunday night?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And look at next man up coming in. I was just laughing.
Lano Hill, man. Look at Lano Hill. And okay, think about the guy you mentioned and you called out a little while ago on another Lockdown Sports, LJ Collier. Okay, you called him out.
Pick. Yep.
Okay, you called him out, and everybody has said he's supposed to have a breakout season this season, and there he was at the bottom of that pile. And, of course, none other than the plumber, number 54, Bobby Wagner, to call exactly where to plug the gap.
Oh,
okay?
Yeah.
That was a sweet play, man, you know, and I'm sorry, but the Mad Hatter was ass over tea kettles at the end, and you could feel the energy. In an empty stadium, you could still feel the energy as the entire city of Seattle and everything outside of Seattle, everywhere outside of Seattle, where there are Hawk fans, and there are many, all had a big X-hey. Let's face it, man.
Yeah.
A big X-hey.
But I think, you know, Pete talked about it at his press conference, but my God, could you imagine if that stadium had been packed with the 12s? That would have rivaled Beastquake. You know what I mean? That's
there's no question. There's no question. And as a matter of fact, with every TD that number 3 threw, as we both know, it would have got louder and louder and louder. And the ones where he dropped that ball into a bucket, okay, where he just rainbowed it into a bucket, that last one to Carson was so pretty. Okay, they were all pretty. In their own way, they were all pretty. And let's face it, he's got one blemish so far, an interception, which was in no way his bad. And Greg Olsen will make up for that. There's no question. He will. Hey, man, I'll tell you what, our game was very exciting, and I'm glad it was the last game of the evening. But as we both know, and I don't know, what else have you got on the clipboard? Because I wanted to go.
Before we get out of this game here, just some stats that just jump out at you. First of all, that battle between Stephon Gilmore and DK Metcalf all night against the reigning Defensive Player of the Year. Was something to behold. They were in each other's grills all night long, ended up in a big brawl on the sideline. But DK burned him on a beautiful touchdown and had, I believe, 6 or 7 catches for 94 yards. Gilmore has not given up. He's had 96 targets before Sunday night without allowing a touchdown. That's just unheard of.
Yeah, he got scorched. And then he ends up scorched. Oh, listen, and what was really insane was he ended up on the Seahawks side of the field.
And he still wanted to rumble.
Okay, and still wanted to rumble. So my hat's off to him for his dose of temporary insanity. Okay, I got to tell you, brother, listen, big cojones. That's all I'm saying. On the Seahawks side of the field, to just want to jump big.
Oh, yeah.
And all night they were back and forth. But you know what we both know? At the end, unlike the Russell Wilson interception in the Super Bowl, we left the Mad Hatter and, well, Coach Belichick reduced to quote a Dick Tracy bad guy character, Coach Mumbles.
I don't know what the bubble is.
What could have been, should have been. You know, he's running away with the MVP. Check this out. His game stats right now, he's at 82.5% completion after 2 games. Nobody's ever done that in the NFL. Nobody. 9 touchdowns, 1 interceptions, $140 quarterback rating. Nobody comes close. He's breaking records left and right.
He's hot right now, man.
Come on, man.
And you know, our defense, man, they gave up another boatload of points. They bend, but they don't break. They made the stops when they had to. And I got to tell you, we're bringing some hard hitting back. We lost Quandre Diggs. He got ejected for a brutal helmet to helmet hit. And then we lost, we lost Marquise Blair when he came in to replace him to injuries. We can talk about that in a minute, but
and then Bruce Irvin.
Big props to Quentin Dunbar, man, who had a huge game. He stopped that pass play on the 1 yard line at the end of the game to set up that final plunge.
Yes,
he almost had a pick six, but I got to tell you, contrary to what we've heard in the reports about there being insufficient evidence, we've got proof right here that he did indeed rob somebody. And I hope he continues his thieving ways all through this.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. Yeah, keep on picking. Quentin, by all means, continue to get busy, sir. Please continue to get busy.
Well,
yeah, no, they bend but don't break, and I think they've still got to figure it out. I'm frustrated by the lack of a real push up front. I still am. Maybe Robinson coming into the fold off the injured squad.
Yeah.
Okay, they have high hopes for this guy Robinson. We'll see what happens. How many times will his name get called on Sunday?
And I say, are we ready to bring Shaquem Griffin back from the practice squad and put him on the edge?
That's imperative. Okay, that gives us extra speed on the edge, no question. But around the NFL, you called this probably 2 lockdowns, maybe 3 lockdown sports ago.
Yeah.
You called that there was going to be a rash of injuries in the NFL because there was no preseason games and because practicing, even with pads, is not real game condition simulation, period. Okay? And nobody got hit harder, Jeff Young, than our rivals in the NFC West, the powerful NFC West, the one and only team with a blemish because they played a team in the NFC West,
right?
The very scary Arizona Cardinals, the 49ers. And let me shamelessly troll our friend Roger Lazola right now. Roger Lazola talked more head than Carter's got pills last year when the 49ers were good. He tortured all Seahawk fans online.
Relentless.
Roger Lazola was last seen in the end zone at the MetLife Stadium under some DNA that they believe belongs to Jimmy Hoffa. You understand what I'm saying? He is hiding way out, Jeff Young.
But the Niners are definitely whiners right now because, like you said, they've lost some huge players. Bosa, Garoppolo's out for a few weeks. I think they've lost like 5 or 6 starters. We lost a couple. Bruce Irvin, Marquise Blair, done for the season. Surgery, I think they're doing surgery today, as a matter of fact. But 7 ACL tears in week 2. Unheard of in the NFL. They've never seen a rash of injuries like this. And, of course, it's taken down some big players. Saquon Barkley, done for the season. Broncos lose their starting quarterback for maybe up to 6 weeks. And, of course, Elway he needs to be shown the door because I just read a few hours ago they signed Blake Bortles to come in. I think this makes the 7th quarterback Elway's had since Peyton Manning left and about the 4th or 5th head coach. They need to do something in Bronco land. It's not looking good, but every team's going to have to adjust because of these injuries. And I have a feeling whoever's got the deepest team could be last one standing when it's all over.
I think you're right, man. And I keep my fingers crossed that we don't lose key pieces of the Adams family.
They're creepy and they're kooky, mysterious and spooky.
Including, of course, the ringleader. Do you know that both he and Flowers played with dislocated fingers during the game? This is how rough and macho this game is. Okay, I'm coming off the field. Just pull on my finger. No, I'm not going to break limb. Just pull on my finger. There it is. It's back in the socket. Cool.
That kid, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I do. So the injuries are something that's marking this COVID season. The other thing that came out is that the NFL has levied over $1 million in fines on week 2 for coaches not wearing masks. And
they're serious about this, aren't they?
Pete got nailed. So did Vic Fangio for the Broncos. And I don't know.
Coach Mumbles got nailed. Oh, yeah, Belichick got nailed.
Belichick, I mean, in the heat of the moment, the mask comes down and they're not even thinking about it. And, of course, I don't know if they want to do what Andy Reid did here. Andy Reid's got the face shield, but it fogged up so bad, I don't even think he knew who won. But
You
yeah,
know why?
I think it's and I've had social media is blowing up, people going how ridiculous. Why couldn't they just told them to put it back on? But I think it's a bigger message. The NFL is trying to set an example for all these people in this country who aren't taking this seriously and don't think masks,
are really important.
And they think
and that they're not at some point going to prevent possibly you either contracting the virus, or if you have it, spreading the virus.
And you got
my hats off to them, man.
Yeah.
But over $1 million in fines, that's just an amazing thing.
Well, they're not fooling around. They want to set an example, and they also want to make sure that nothing disrupts this season.
Yeah, and so far, by the way, all negative tests. Every player has tested negative for the virus. So, big hats off to the NFL. They know the machine must continue to churn forward. And I think that there is it's kind of a bittersweet scenario when you think about it. It's our love for real sports, other than, as we both know, marble racing, ostrich chariot racing, other assorted ridiculous things that we have looked at here on Lockdown Sports. We were really anxious, like everybody in the country who was jonesing to see real football. And they were really anxious to get back on the gridiron and play for us. But with the COVID, obviously, no preseason changed the dynamics of everything. And like I said, you called this, man. You said there was going to be a rash of injuries. And I had no idea exactly how severe that rash would come and how quickly, by the way, that rash would come. We're entering week 3, and we've got some teams that have got a MASH unit. Okay.
And not to mention fantasy football players who have already thrown themselves off the roof. You know what I mean?
Oh, Jeff Young, this was a fantasy tsunami, wasn't it? This was a fantasy football tsunami. Okay.
And and so what was the other thing we were talking about? Before I forget about the 40 whiners, they were bitching and moaning about the conditions of the field there at MetLife Stadium when they were playing
the Jets on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, and by the way, they've got to play there again on Sunday again. If I'm not mistaken, is it them that are playing there, or is it the Rams that are playing there?
I can't remember, but I find it just ironic that the Niners would be bitching and moaning. They're blaming that rash of injuries they had on the field. And, the other team didn't have that rash of injuries. And of all the teams to bitch about the condition of their playing field, can we please not forget
how many times did
the 49ers field? Look at this piece of crap. I'm telling you what, they've had to redo this field like 3 times. It's been built over a sinkhole or a swamp. It's terrible. And they're whining about another stadium. I don't get it, but that's the Niners for you.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, in this division, there are no prisoners to be taken.
None.
The Rams look very tough too. Listen, I don't care how the power rankings shake out, as long as at the end we're going to the big dance.
Absolutely.
And as we both know, barring major injuries, we got a shot with number 3 cooking the way he's cooking right now, because he is on fire, man.
Oh boy, he's cooking. He's setting the table. He's
serving the meal. He's doing everything, man.
He's doing everything, cleaning up the dishes and tucking his receivers into bed.
And then going home and changing the baby's diaper. He's a full service man, this Russell Wilson. I'm telling you right now.
So Rod, let's talk about the boneheaded play of week 2.
Let me guess.
Dan Quinn cannot be sitting in that hot seat too much longer before he's jettisoned after the Falcons gave up an onside kick to the Cowboys, enabling them to complete one of the biggest comebacks in that team's history.
It was as cold a bowl of chili as any fan in Atlanta could possibly be served on consecutive Sundays.
Well, nobody.
You know what I'm saying?
I do, and nobody thought that they would be doing onside kicks anymore since the new rules prevent the linemen from getting a head start running and all that stuff. But here's the clip, and I swear to God, someone needs to. This is why the coach is on the hot seat. These Falcon players obviously didn't know the rules. They're looking at this ball like it's COVID-19.
Jeff Young.
They don't want to get near it.
They were looking at that doggone football like a congregation at a synagogue looking at a spinning glazed ham. Okay? Oy vey, should we touch it? No, don't touch it, please. Oy vey, don't touch it. Are you kidding me? One of the most boneheaded plays in the history. Listen, this side of Russell Wilson throwing that pick in the Super Bowl, among the most boneheaded plays in NFL history, right there.
Terrible.
And they were ripe, unfortunately, for the picking. And once again, man, we watched the Atlanta Falcons melt down, man.
Well, I
don't know.
And you know what? Something else that kind of stuck in my craw is look at all those fans that were at that Dallas football game. What the hell is that all about? I mean, there was a lot. I don't know what number they said they were going to allow in, but man, that a couple of those.
You can see them all the way up in the top.
Yeah.
You can see them all the way up at the top. Remember that? All the way up in the top tiers?
All the way.
Okay. And large, non, of course, socially distancing people, all in different pockets, all out throughout the stands. But come on, man. Nobody in Texas catches COVID-19. You know this.
Apparently not. Apparently we need to just put the big old rubber glove on that state.
Well, here's what we both know. It's a mixed blessing that Dallas snatched victory from the jaws of defeat, okay? And that unfortunately Atlanta snatched victory from, well, victory just by being boneheaded and stupid. Absolutely stupid, man. They snatched defeat out of clear, thin air, even though Dallas desperately wanted to give them that game with 3 huge turnovers. They were up 20-0 at the end of the first quarter. But my point is this. I'm glad they're not rolling into town Sunday night 0-2. We don't need a hungry, motivated Dallas Cowboy team, Jeff Young. Understand that.
No.
They're going to be a little problem anyway. Zach, we both know. Dak Prescott playing for contract. You don't think any problem?
I didn't say no problem. I said just a little problem because until our defense figures out what they need to do to get some pressure and to make some plays, I don't see any team in the NFL right now that can keep up with the offensive output of the Seattle Seahawks.
Well, there's a couple of defenses
throw up 35, 38 points a game.
Yeah, no. You're right. And what I love about the ever-changing game plan is the ability for Russell to improvise on the run, which he's always been able to do. But now I think the playbook is wide open for him.
Oh yeah.
Let them show up in town and limp out of here 1-2. That'll be fine, man.
Absolutely.
What if Jerry Jones is going to bring the yacht up, Jeff Young? What do you think? You think he'll bring the yacht up and park it?
If he does, we'll have a Kraken waiting for him. Hey, let's talk about our other hometown team, the Mariners. What's going on with them? You know, when we talked about them last week, they were a game and a half out of the playoffs, unfortunately. They've fallen a little.
Reality has set in. Reality has set in. They weren't planning to do anything this season. They weren't planning on doing anything, and that's why they didn't bring up 2 more studs from Tacoma, who we'll see next year, Julio Rodriguez and, of course, Jared Kolechnik. Both stud outfielders, okay? But I'll tell you, Marco Gonzalez threw another gem last night, and I'm telling you, he threw another gem against the Houston Astros at their empty ballpark, okay? So
wasn't that a one-hitter? I mean, scored 1 run.
They scored 1 run, okay?
Yeah.
We beat them 5-1 last night. And by the way, guess whose bat's come alive? And I said this a while ago. Evan White's bat is finally come alive. He had a 3-run home run last night. And I'm telling you, his glove is why they brought him up from Double-A ball. Because he's absolutely gold glove first base. There's nothing that really gets by this thing.
That's fantastic.
So,
when you asked me whose bats were getting hot, I immediately thought whoever we traded away from the team.
Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth? But listen, speaking of, I've got to give props to our beleaguered ex-Mariner player who now has found a home on his 3rd team, Jeff Young, his 3rd team this season. And that would be our old buddy, Daniel Vogelback, okay? Gone is the Bogey Hoagie. Don't know what it was replaced with. Have no idea. Maybe the Marco Marinara or something. I have no clue of what they got going out there now at the stadium since there's no fans.
Right.
But he went from here to the Blue Jays, where he batted, I think, 0.83, and he left here batting, I think, 0.88. Okay, so he was miserable. And he has found a home in the home of the Bratwurst, Milwaukee.
Bratwurst and
beer. Jeff Young, all he had to do was get his sodium up, man. That's all that brother needed. I'm telling you right now, he got to Milwaukee. He got away from that healthy eating in Seattle. and in Buffalo, although I'm sure he was tearing up the wings. And my man, he is happy. He had 5 ribbies Sunday. Okay? I'm telling you, Daniel Vogelbach is suddenly a machine for the suddenly surging Milwaukee Brewers. So we might see Vogelbach in the postseason, in the playoffs. And I wish him the best, man. Like I said, first half of last season, he was on fire. They named the sandwich after him. But think about it, Jeff Young. How many dingers did Reggie Jackson have to hit before they named the candy bar after him in Gotham? Come on now.
I know, right?
Okay, we are quick to put somebody, as Archie Bunker used to say, on the pedestal.
And meathead, dead from the neck up.
We are very quick to put somebody up there. Right now, man, let's name a sandwich after the big fella. He looks like Jackie Gleason, as the Bible says. He looks like Jackie Gleason in a baseball uniform. Let's name a sandwich after him. You know what I'm saying?
I do, and good for them. That's kind of the legacy of the Mariners. Whoever gets traded from them usually goes on, that's a pretty darn good season and a career.
And you know what? Like I said, man, I wish them the best of luck. Enjoy the bratwurst. Make sure you don't piss off the police department there in Milwaukee. We know what time it is. I ain't going no further.
So let's see. Let's wrap this up with the incredibly exciting Western Conference Finals in the NBA. My Denver Nuggets, the Cinderella Kids from the Mile High State, going up against the Yankees of the NBA, the mighty Lakers. The mighty Lakers. They go in and buy all those superstars. I mean, when you're bringing Dwight Howard off the bench, oh my God, you are a deep team, right?
Yeah.
So, Lakers blew them out in game 1, just blew them out. It humiliated them. Game 2, another story because it looked like they were cruising up by 16 in the third quarter. And here comes Nugget magic all over again. They closed that. Djokovic scored the last 12 points. They had a 1-point lead with, what was it, like 3 seconds left?
Yeah.
Perhaps
a little bit less than 3 seconds. And let me tell you what was key. Let me tell you what was key in all of that. First and foremost, as we both know, that game was there for the Nuggets to take. Okay? The missed free throws came back to really haunt your basketball team. There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
Killed them.
Okay? But the key, if you look back at that play, was how Rajon Rondo, who is really their Russell Wilson, this cat's a quarterback when he's out there on the floor for the Lakers, okay? He hit AD Davis with a perfect bounce pass, okay? And any other kind of pass would have been deflected, something else would have happened, would have taken more time off the clock, whatever. They wouldn't have had time to even get up a decent shot. But it was a perfect bounce pass and set him up just to simply catch the ball on the bounce and raise. Boom. And Djokovic went up to try to check it and just missed it, man. This is a game, as you know, like of inches, man. Come on, another inch and the Seahawks are the NFC West champions or the NFC West representatives in the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying?
Rip their guts out. And I'll tell you what, we all know it was the ghost of Kobe. It was the ghost of Kobe.
Yeah, you see those Black Mamba uniforms, Jeff Young. Well, beware.
I mean, that was a typical Kobe 3-point buzzer beater, game killer. Just tore their hearts out.
It's happened before, man.
But they're not done yet. Lakers got to beat that Nuggets team 2 more times before they can move on, and that's not going to be an easy task. I really don't think Nuggets aren't going anywhere. They're going to fight this all the way to the end.
I don't think there's any question.
They don't want to leave the bubble. They're the new Cinderella darlings of Disneyland. And let's just, I tell you, man, my fingers are crossed on me, hoping that they can take this series to 7 games. And I know how much you love LeBron James, but I couldn't help. I got to throw this picture up. Someone decided to put together what they thought would be a future statue out there in, at the lake. I got nothing but love for LeBron.
Still moving, he's gonna go! 1, 2, 3!